How's it going, YouTube? It's your boy Noah back again with another NFL video, and today we're doing the NFL Week 4 preview video. So we got the Broncos and Raiders in the background, and let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the action. First game, the Thursday night football game, we got the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. I do think this is a pretty underrated game, honestly, because even though Chicago's 1-2, they've actually looked pretty decent so far. They got that win in Pittsburgh last week and almost beat the Falcons week 1, so I do think they have some good talent. But going into Green Bay, it's always going to be tough. Aaron Rodgers led the Packers to that comeback victory against the Bengals last week. So at home, I think I will give the edge to Green Bay, but it's going to be a pretty close game, closer than people think. I'm going to go final score, Green Bay 28, Chicago 24. Next game, New Orleans Saints visiting the Miami Dolphins. Miami, I just don't trust them very much. I mean, they won against the, I forgot who they beat in their first game, but they got smashed by the Jets last week. I don't really trust Jay Cutler, to be honest with you. And on the other side, Drew Brees and the Saints played really well last week. Their defense got 3 interceptions off Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees is just a freaking beast. So I think that the New Orleans Saints will be able to go into Miami and get a nice road win. Final score, New Orleans 31, Miami 21. Next game, Buffalo Bills visiting the Atlanta Falcons at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, or the stadium, excuse me. This will be a pretty decent game. Obviously, Buffalo got a nice win against Denver last week, and the Falcons coming off a underwhelming performance against the Lions, where they were able to sneak away with that victory. But I do think I think the Falcons will be able to rebound this game, and their offense kind of struggled last week turning the ball over. I think Dan Quinn will help to clean that up. And while I think Buffalo's defense is formidable, I think the Falcons can have success against them. And the Buffalo offense, on the other hand, it's kind of been hit or miss so far this year, and I think the Falcons defense has been pretty decent so far. So at home, I'm going to give the edge to the Atlanta Falcons. In a close game, I'm going to go final score, Atlanta 31, Buffalo 27. Next game, the battle for the #1 overall draft pick as the winless Cincinnati Bengals travel to Cleveland to face the winless Cleveland Browns. Oh, just pick your poison. I mean, both these teams straight garbage. I do like Andy, I don't really like Andy Dalton, but I'd probably take him over the rookie Deshaun Kaiser at this point. And you'll have to excuse me, I'm still sick, but the Bengals do have a better defense, I feel like, than the Browns at this point, at least at this juncture of the season. And Cincinnati played decent against Green Bay, although they did blow that lead, and Cleveland's just been really hit or miss so far. So give the edge to Cincinnati in a boring game. Go Cincinnati 24, Cleveland 21. Next game, a highlight game of the week. This will be a good one. Los Angeles Rams at the Dallas Cowboys. Jared Goff has looked absolutely amazing so far. He's really improved from last year, which is nice to see. Dallas, they got smashed by Denver, but then they did a nice job to rebound against Arizona and get a win. So I'll look for Dallas to win this game at home. Though I do think it'll be close, because obviously the Rams have a very formidable defense and their offense has been great. So I'm going to go final score, Dallas 28, Los Angeles 24. Next game, another highlight game, Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. And you might think this might not be close because Case Keenum is starting, but considering how well he looked how great he looked last week, 369 yards against the Buccaneers, I do think this will be a close game. However, the way the Lions lost last week, I think they're going to come out with a vengeance against the Vikings. The Detroit Lions have a great, very underrated defense, and we all know their offense is absolutely amazing. So give the edge to Detroit to go into Minnesota and get a nice road win against the Vikings. Final score, Detroit 31, Minnesota 21. Next game, Carolina Panthers at the New England Patriots. New England coming off a comeback victory against Houston last week. Carolina losing to the Saints. Cam Newton really struggled last week, but Christian McCaffrey had a nice performance, and Panthers defense also struggled against Drew Brees, which any defense can do, to be fair. But on the other side of the ball, New England's defense has also been kind of underwhelming, but Tom Brady has just been absolutely fantastic so far. He's on pace for over 5,000 yards on the season, and I just think at home, give the edge to New England Patriots to win over Cam Newton and Panthers. Final score, New England 34, Carolina 24. Next game, Jacksonville Jaguars at the New York Jets. Jacksonville absolutely blowing out the Baltimore Ravens last week in London, and New York getting an upset victory over Miami. So these are two teams coming off upset victories, and this game is in New York, so it'll be a decent game, I feel like. However, I just really liked what I saw from Jacksonville last week. They absolutely dominated the Ravens, and then in Week 1 they absolutely dominated the Texans, I believe it was. So, and as well, Blake Bortles threw 4 touchdown passes last week, so maybe look for him to have a good game here against the New York Jets. I'm going to go final score, Jacksonville 28, Jets 17. Next game, another good game, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens, one of the best rivalries in the NFL. If I'm being perfectly honest, Pittsburgh Steelers have probably been the most disappointing team in the NFL for me so far this year. I know they're 2-1, I think, but they've just been pretty underwhelming. They lost to the Bears last week, and they had a not very convincing win in Week 1 against the Browns. They did destroy the Vikings, but that was with Case Keenum in his first game. And on the other side of the ball, I know Baltimore got smashed last week, but they played really well the first 2 weeks. And let's be honest, even though this is a great rivalry, in the past couple of years, the Ravens have had the edge over the Steelers, and I've learned that the hard way, because basically every time I pick the Steelers to win in this series, the Ravens win. So I'm not going to make that same mistake. I'm going for the Baltimore Ravens to win this game at home, which means the Pittsburgh Steelers win, but I'm going to go final score, Baltimore 27, Pittsburgh 24. Next game, very underrated game here, Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. I know the Houston's lost last week, but they took the New England Patriots right down to the wire in Foxborough, and Sean Watson had a freaking amazing game. But I just feel like Tennessee's offense is absolutely incredible. DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry is the best 1-2 punch in the NFL, maybe besides Freeman and Coleman on the Falcons. And Marcus Mariota's made great strides this year. He's got some nice receiving options, and Tennessee defense is pretty good as well. And Houston really struggled last week defensively. I know it's against Tom Brady, but still, other than J.J. Watt, I mean, secondary's kind of linebackers are average. So I'm going to go for Tennessee to win a closed game, I'd say. I'll go final score, Tennessee 31, Houston 28. Next game, San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals. I will give props where it's due, and Brian Hoyer played really good last week, and that surprised me. So he's definitely earned another start here against the Cardinals. Cardinals coming off an underwhelming performance against the Cowboys. Started off fantastic. Opening drive was amazing. Carson Palmer completed basically every pass, and they went up, and then after that it kind of went downhill. But I do think they'll be able to rebound against San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco's defense really struggled last week, and while their offense played great, I don't see their offense as a consistently great offense. I think they will struggle against a good Cardinals defense on the road. I'm going to go final score, Arizona 31, San Francisco 14. Next game, Philadelphia Eagles at the Los Angeles Chargers after the Eagles won against the Giants on Jake Elliott's 61-yard field goal, and Carson Wentz gave him his game check. Gotta respect that. But Los Angeles, they're probably the greatest 0-3 team. At least I think they're 0-3. They're probably 1-2 now that I said that, but they're probably one of the best, worst teams I've ever seen. They've been really unlucky so far. 2 other games they lost on field goal misses by their kicker, and last week they played the freaking Chiefs, who are just absolutely amazing. The best team so far in the NFL, in my opinion. They lost that one. So they're winless, and I think that will remain this way. I think I've been really impressed with what Philadelphia's shown so far this year. Carson Wentz just looks absolutely fantastic. Him and Jared Goff have both improved very nicely. It's great to see that, and gotta have confidence in their kicking game after Jake Elliott hit that field goal last week. And they got a decent running attack. LeGarrette Blount used him on the goal line. Wendell Smallwood in all other situations. So I'm gonna go Philadelphia to go in there and into Los Angeles, not San Diego, and win this game. Final score, Philadelphia 35, San Diego 28. Next game, New York Giants at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Giants have been absolute garbage so far, starting out 0-3. Tampa Bay coming off a bad loss to the Case Keenum-led Vikings, and I do think that they will rebound this game. And yes, I know I picked the Giants. I'm just officially unpicking them to win the division. They're honestly going to compete for the #1 overall pick now, because I don't think they're going to be able to go into Tampa Bay and win, because Tampa Bay is a very underrated home crowd. Obviously as a Falcons fan, I've seen them play there many times. It's a very underrated atmosphere to play at. It's very difficult to play there. And after their bad performance against the Vikings last week, they're not going to lose again. They're going to beat down the New York Giants in that struggling offensive line, which has absolutely no running game. Eli Manning is running for his life. Final score, Tampa Bay 28, New York 14. Next game, the game of the week in my opinion, Oakland Raiders at the Denver Broncos. This is going to be a great game. Denver coming off a loss to Buffalo, and the Oakland Raiders, I honestly can't remember who they played last week, so there's my unpreparedness coming out, but this will be a freaking fantastic game. Two top teams in the AFC so far. Denver's defense has been absolutely dominant, and the Raiders have one of the best offenses in the NFL, and right on cue, Aqib Talib picks off a pass, but this will be a great game. But at Denver, that's a really tough place to play, and Denver's amazing defense. I don't think they're going to lose 2 straight games. I have big respect for Derek Carr and that Raiders offense. I'd say top 5 in the NFL, but going into Denver on the road with that defense, I think that they'll be able to slow down the Raiders at least. And Trevor Siemian has been very capable so far this season. Obviously, they got C.J. Anderson, who's a freaking tank. So I'm going to go for the Denver Broncos to rebound from last week and get a close win. I'll go Denver 24, Oakland 20. Next game, Indianapolis Colts at the Seattle Seahawks. You can tell that the NFL scheduled this before the season starts because, I mean, this is just so one-sided on paper for Sunday Night Football. Andrew Luck is out, and Jacoby Brissett is in this game. And, I mean, they beat the Browns last week, but not that that's saying much. And Jacoby Brissett looked good. And on the other side, Seattle has struggled, so it might be pretty close. I'm not sure. It depends on if the Seahawks O-line actually shows up or not, because if they do, this will be a blowout. But if they don't, Indianapolis might have a chance to get an upset here. However, with Jacoby Brissett going into Seattle to face that daunting Seattle defense, got to give the edge to Seattle. Maybe it'll be a low-scoring game. I'm going to go final score, Seattle 24, Indianapolis 21. And now the last game of the week, the Monday night game, the Washington Redskins at the Kansas City Chiefs, as freaking Simeon launches it 80 yards down the field. This will be a really good game. Washington coming off a win against, once again, I can't remember the team. I think, God, what was it? It was Sunday Night Football. Oh, it was the Raiders. That's right. They destroyed the freaking Raiders last week. And Kansas City has just been so great so far. Starting off 3-0, Kareem Hunt is an absolute tank, man. Leading the NFL in rushing as a rookie. He's got 400 yards in 3 games. And I think at home, Kansas City has a fantastic defense. When Washington played great last week, I think this will be a fantastic game. But I'm going to go for the Kansas City Chiefs to extend their winning streak to 4-0. I'm going to go final score, Kansas City 31, Washington 30. So anyway, guys, that's it for the picks. What'd you guys think? Let me know. Do you agree with my picks? Do you disagree with my picks? Hopefully there'll be less upsets than last week, because basically everyone got upset and my picks were 8-8. We'll see if they improve this week. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.